Ma chi diavolo ti credi di essere?
Salveremo di nuovo la galassia? Ah! Attenti!
Oh, wow.
Io ci ho provato.
Hey, how's it going, guys? We are just now getting started with the stream. Welcome, and we should be jumping in right now. Hey, how's it going, guys? We are just now getting started with the stream. Welcome, and we should be jumping in right now. Hey, how's it going, guys? We are just now getting started with the stream. 1 second, guys. Alright guys, sorry about that. We just had to take a slight jump out. And of course we are back with some Afghanistan 11. I'm going to go ahead and do a actual skirmish. So I want this to be basically just totally randomized. Of course, generally when you're playing Afghanistan 11, you have the opportunity to switch around if you don't get a skirmish mode you like. And this one we're jumping right in. So let's go ahead and jump in. Click start. And it looks like we already have a liaison, and his actual quote, this is of course the president currently of Afghanistan, his actual quote is, "Pakistan is our only friend." So this guy's a definite enemy to us. He's not good, he's definitely dangerous, and we need to get to elections as soon as possible. It's that simple. If we take a look here at the command, we also now have the Moab update. So we have the Massive Ordnance Airburst. And this is exactly what the Moab stands for, the mother of all bombs. It is a massive ordnance airburst bomb. And the way it basically works is it doesn't detonate by hitting the ground. It actually detonates a few hundred feet above the ground, blasting downwards. And this is what causes such tremendous damage to the actual people below. So, of course, the massive ordnance airburst is something we don't want to use if we don't have to, primarily because it's very expensive. It's not cheap at all, and obviously, you know, we don't really have that much money to spend. We want to try and spread this money out as well as we can. I'm going to go ahead and get some supply trucks going. We'll get some special forces here, and 7 garrison units are ready. So we can also show you guys, hey, how's it going, Tomato? Good to see you, man, and Wavel, good to see both of you. So we are going to be trying out the convoy system as well, which is also new and really exciting. I mean, I think the idea of adding convoys to the game really adds an interesting aspect to it. So let's go ahead and actually take a look here. We're gonna get a convoy started. So I think I wanna start a convoy with our Husky, but before we do that, we're actually gonna load up some of our infantry companies. So let's actually get some MRAPs. 1 MRAP, 2 MRAPs. I'd like to get 1 Apache, but I know better than that. And we'll actually take the Special Forces team and we'll start building an Afghan National Army howitzer. I think it's always good for the ANA to have some sort of unit. So to start the actual convoy system, guys, the way it works is as follows. We click on the first vehicle we want to start building the convoy. Now we need a second vehicle in the convoy. I think in this case, we could take a supply truck. Third vehicle in the convoy, we could take a Buffalo. Fourth, in this case, an MRAP, a supply truck in the back, another supply truck in the back. We're done. At this point, we can leave with our convoy. So I want to take a look around this map. There does seem to be a lot of action up here in the north. Now, of course, we could go down to the south. There's just one village over here, but I think the north is definitely more promising. So we're going to start moving. And, of course, this convoy sort of, as you can see, really cool system. It protects itself. I mean, there are men here willing to fight and die to defend it. Of course, we don't want to use that Moab if we don't have to. As you can imagine, it's going to scare the hell out of a lot of villagers. They're not going to be happy with it. Although one thing I don't think we did is I don't think we loaded up the men correctly into our MRAPs. Let's take a look here. No, absolutely not. So we're going to have to get out with our MRAP, reload, and get those guys on. I was almost certain that we had loaded them properly, but I could be wrong. And now our convoy is not as safe. So now that you guys have seen the convoy, I think I can bring most of it back. We have a pretty good idea of what we want to do. So let's go ahead and get this MRAP to pick up one of these troops. Sorry guys, 1 second. There we go. Move them next turn, so we're going to end the turn here. Let's take a look here at the chat. Hey, Loot Dev, how you doing, man? I think that's actually a good point, Loot Dev. It's actually the first time we kind of built a proper convoy here in the stream. It's a very good point. We should probably have MRAPs guarding the back. So we're definitely going to send these supply trucks behind us just to clear the way. And in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and use our Husky to try and clear the roads of any possible bombs. We could use the Buffalo here to build a FOB, or we could start building some water towers in these towns, which is probably a good idea. Now, this area is not easily reachable without a helicopter, so I might go ahead and, yes, I might spend some cash here to get a Black Hawk. So let me actually get one more U.S. infantry squad, confirm, and I'm going to get one Black Hawk. And we're going to have this Black Hawk go ahead and pick up Charlie Company and actually head out towards these other villages. So let's drop them off in this one first. This one already has a road going to it, so it's somewhat advanced for an Afghan village. Let's go ahead and drop our men there. Uncooperative, of course. Another thing about this update is we're supposed to get sort of more randomized information from the locals. So before, if a place was extremely in your favor, you would always get high-value target information. Now that's not necessarily the case. A lot of factors have to be taken into consideration. How many Taliban are nearby? You know, how willing are your guys to fight, etc., etc. So these are all considerations, of course. Now I'm also going to go over here. Let's get this supply truck back. I don't like having to travel down this road without a Husky, but I don't think we have a choice. So we're going to send these guys in. Oh yeah, we found some IEDs at the very least. Not the greatest find in the world, but you know what? We kind of know it's there. I'm going to go ahead and pick these guys up as well. I also want to let you guys know that Slytherin is currently having a board game sale on Steam. So, for instance, if you want to stop by, actually on our site, I should say, if you want to stop by the Slytherin or Matrix site, all of the games that we classify as board games, and there's quite a lot, we currently have on sale for pretty dramatic price reductions. So, highly recommend you guys take a look at that. I think you'd enjoy it a lot. And welcome everybody on Twitch and YouTube. Right now I'm taking a look at Twitch, so if you guys want to switch over there, feel free. If you want to stay on YouTube, you can also feel free to stick around. I am going to go ahead and get some UN supplies in this truck, although not sure if we're going to make it. All right, let's end our turn. So I think first things first, we've got to get that forward operating base, but we also need to build these waterworks. If we don't build waterworks, it's quite simple. We end up running out of money and we lose the game. So I think we'll go for the waterworks first. I'm hoping we're not going to hit an IED. There we go. One up. So that's going to bring in some political support. And with this Husky, I'm actually going to head back to base and start building another convoy. So we'll get another better convoy set up. I think that a few of the users made some really good points. Like Loot Dev explained pretty well that basically it's a good idea to have MRAPs at the back of your convoy as well, because if you don't, you run the risk of being attacked. I could run more than one Husky. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. It's my colleague there. Thank you. Still working through Flashpoint campaigns, have mercy, and that's actually one of my favorite games. I regularly play it on my channel. Really, really fun stuff. Good choice. I think you made a good choice. Let's go ahead and pick these guys up. Let's head back to base. Yeah, I'd rather not buy two Huskies. They're expensive. It wouldn't necessarily hurt, but, you know, we do have to think about the price range here. Let's drop our boys off here. Oh boy, look at that. We've got some militia. Now, unfortunately, our howitzer is not yet ready. We do, however, have an airstrike here with an F-16. I was about to say an F-18. Let's go ahead. Oh, they escaped. Lucky, lucky bastards. Okay, so they did manage to escape here. Let's make sure that there's no IEDs here. We'll go ahead, we'll pick these guys up, and we'll head back to base. Now, I do want to show you guys the Moab, but you got to realize that a number of different things are important when using the Moab. So number one, when you use the Moab, any of the surrounding villages are going to lose a tremendous amount of respect for you. Number two, it's 4,000 political points, which it should be. I mean, it's a massive ordnance air blast. So of course it's gonna scare people about the war, about how it's going. It's gonna terrify some people. I'm gonna build that convoy very soon here, but for now I'll end the turn, and we'll get a brand new convoy going. Great to hear that, Bandy Man. He says he got the game a few weeks ago, and awesome game so far, just need more time to play. Don't we all? Do insurgents plant IEDs in the road after you sweep through if units are out of sight? Yo, yeah, definitely, man. Absolutely. And a matter of fact, you know, and I've had this happen to me multiple times, you could run, you know, like let's say an MRAP here from base, you know, run it to this village, no IEDs whatsoever. Next turn, you move out of the village, boom, you hit an IED. So absolutely. Okay, here we go. We're gonna start with, well, that's right, we gotta bring the Husky back home first.
Copy, solid.
So let's start with the Husky, of course. It's gonna be the front of our IED. We'll take the supply truck with the UN supplies, and we'll put 2 MRAPs at the back. So I'm actually gonna keep 1 supply truck out, believe it or not, back at base, and we'll send these guys to the north.
Copy, solid.
So this is a little better, I think, in terms of an IED setup. Let's see. Yeah, we're still getting some issues with the loading of units onto the convoy, and this could be something that is easily fixed. I might also be making a mistake. I'll check again.
Here, Oscar Mike.
But I don't think I'm making any mistakes, so we got to figure out what's going on here.
Oscar Mike.
End the turn. Before we do, let me bring the Black Hawk down.
Moving out.
And with our beautiful Buffalo here, I think I'm going to move to the next village. Of course, to get there, we actually have to plan a bit, so I think we'll actually send the Buffalo back. We could also build a waterworks at that village.
Solid. Copy, solid.
Okay, SEAL Team 6, some militia units have disbanded. Awesome. The U.S. Army has reported a number of successful missions that resulted in the capture of key militant members. Although neither the White House nor the Department of Defense has confirmed it, it is believed that U.S. Naval Special Warfare Development Group, commonly known as SEAL Team 6, was responsible, and of course it's going to go on to talk about the killing of Osama bin Laden. Quite interesting stuff. Let's get this guy back. We're actually going to let the Husky rest 1 turn because he actually needs some fuel, so I'll let the Husky rest, move this truck in as well. I want to make absolutely sure that my men are in these MRAPs. So let's go ahead, we're going to load up. Let's get some more men over here, Bravo Company. And let's actually put 1 unit, although I hate doing this. We're going to put 1 unit in a supply truck, just for the sake of moving out a little bit faster. I might even go ahead and try and get another unit of U.S. infantry, or actually, check that, unit of special forces. These are expensive, but I think it's time to go ahead, grab our Black Hawk, pick up the special forces that are not training the ANA howitzer, and then, of course, head to the mountains to the east. Of course, that's where Pakistan is. I think this is the one, yeah. We're going to put them in these mountains over here. So I might actually drop them off this turn.
Moving out. Copy, solid.
Here we go. I love how they rappel down. That's really cool. Let's just go ahead and set up an observation post on top of the mountain here so we can see just about anybody leaving this area, believe it or not.
Moving out.
And I do want to bring some fuel to this Buffalo, but it's expensive.
Copy, solid.
All right, now we're losing political points.
Waterworks complete.
I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put some fuel on this supply truck. We're unfortunately going to have to drop the unit, of course, by doing that. We'll still have 2 in the MRAP, so I think it'll do pretty well. Oh, yes, you can definitely name your own units. If you like Panzer General 2, Bandyman, I hope you've checked out our Panzer Corps game, which is just basically like a newer, better version of Panzer General. I would highly recommend taking a look at that, man. It's awesome. We've got a ton of DLC for it, all sorts of DLC, and it really is quite fun. I'm going to end the turn here.
New ANA unit
And actually, it looks like we're still losing. We're still losing cash. But I'm going to wait a little bit before we completely give up here. So let's grab the Husky. We're going to start this convoy once again. I'm going to take the MRAP, supply truck, and MRAP in the back. I think this was a good setup. And we'll go ahead and leave. And hopefully the troops are still attached to our MRAPs now. I think they probably should be. Unfortunately, I am going to have to do a little detour. Maybe not. Let's see what we do here. We've got to bring fuel to that Buffalo. Now, ideally, we could just get fuel to them by airdrop, but we don't have enough cash for the airdrop. I mean, we can use the cash, but as you can see, we're in the negative here. So our unit fuel is critical, and now our men are in the truck, so that was definitely my mistake. That American flag on top lets us know that the trucks are staffed by soldiers. I do want to send this supply truck back, but I just think it's going to take them too long anyway to get back there. We still have more than a few units here. With our units, we're going to keep on moving, and we'll actually move east with our special forces. And we'll move way back home with this guy. I think we probably want to pick someone up and head to this village. Probably not a bad idea. And at this point, I'm actually hoping for an IED. You might ask, well, why in the hell would you hope for an IED? And the answer is simple. If we destroy an IED, we get some political points. You know, we can tell the folks back home, well, look, you guys might not want to continue this war, but we just discovered a bunch of IEDs, so I think we're doing pretty good, and justify it. Without that, we're not going to be able to justify it very well. With this Special Forces team, I'm immediately going to start training an M18 chopper, and we've already got our howitzer. So if any of the enemy starts to approach us, we could probably take them out. I'm actually really tempted to use this, and I am going to use it because I'm stubborn, use this reconnaissance mission, but of course we still need to wait for those political points to go up. And look at that, we've already got some Taliban spotted. Unbelievable. I'm not even sure if we can bring in anything to destroy them because we need desperately some political points, but I think we can bring in, because of the action points we have, a Warthog strike here on the Taliban. Oh, I love the sound of that Warthog, and we destroyed one Taliban unit. Beautiful. Give them a decent burial here on this mountain. Really good hit there. And of course, that brought us essentially out of the... Is it out of the rough? I'm not sure what the term is. I am going to go ahead and actually deliver these UN supplies to this village. To do that, we're going to have to actually get out of this convoy. And some of these units, as you can see, don't have any movement points left. So I think for now, we'll drop off. And look at that. Sure enough, spotted some more Taliban, or militia. Maybe we can hit them with our Alpha battery. Oh, they're just out of range. So frustrating. I really want to just go ahead, get an Apache, and hit them. But I know that the Apache is going to put us way in the red. That's the term I was looking for, and we're not going to be able to do very well there. Hey, Damien, how you doing, man? So, Dune Warrior, this is a skirmish, and Loot Dev, the only reason we had issues preparing the convoy, I wanted to make sure that the troops were inside the MRAPs, and I was actually hitting the withdraw button, which is this one right here, to the left, de-garrison, as opposed to the actual fill the convoy. But now our convoy is running just fine. The only issue, one major issue, is this Buffalo is badly damaged, and so is the water tower. So we're going to bring in some emergency supplies for the Buffalo. He's still damaged, so he's probably going to get attacked again by the Taliban. But if we can fix that water tower, we can actually salvage ourselves. But I'm not sure we can. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to grab... There is one way we could actually get into contact with those Taliban, and that's to send a unit in and actually go ahead, drop them near the Taliban and basically get into a pitched battle. But I think everybody is pretty aware that that's not really a good idea. You don't want to be sending units in right next to the Taliban if possible. So I'm actually going to send these guys to this village. Hopefully we find out some interesting facts. sure enough, we found an IED. Of course, this is the weirdest road in the world because, and this is what I love about skirmish mode, it is totally randomized. This IED is in the middle of a road that only links 2 villages. I think that they're kind of it kind of defeats the purpose. I doubt we're going to go there. Of course, we could probably head over there with our chopper, but another issue is it's on the other side of a mountain pass, so this is not an easy place to reach, as you could probably imagine. All right, let's see. I think we did what we could. I am going to go ahead and search for IEDs. And we'll get this guy back into the MRAP.
Copy solid.
Once you build a convoy, can you save the template? Hard to say. Actually, I'm not sure. On the skirmish, a lot of action. What setting is this? So this setting is just the normal one. We took everything right in the middle. 60 turn count, weather mild, terrain type mixed. We took the most random one. I told everybody, I'm like, no matter what I get, I'm taking it. So even though we have kind of tough terrain, I mean, without a doubt, we can actually take a look here. This is really tough, a really tough map. And the reason being, we can see a few of these villages and we can reach a few of them, but the vast majority of these villages are on the other side of mountain ranges, and to get to them, we need to fly there. We can't get any of our trucks there. We can't get any of our convoys there, and that obviously makes it a lot more difficult. And the few villages that are on our route that we could possibly reach are way out from the main highway. So tough, tough, tough setup here. I wouldn't recommend this for newbies. I would recommend a newbie to re-roll. And I hope everybody understands what I mean when I say re-roll. In other words, just start over, start a new skirmish mode.
Copy that.
I'm going to send the Buffalo to get repaired. He's going to have to head back out and actually fix that water tower. So I hope he's up for the task. Let's end the turn. All right. So, as you can see here, yeah, if we tried to get over, even if we tried to get across the river, it would take us forever. I am going to send the Husky forward, of course, but we're going to send the whole convoy forward.
Roger.
Boom! Got an ID. Beautiful. Husky took it. And by the way, just to make you guys aware of something, despite the Husky being an anti-IED vehicle, there are VBIEDs, which are very big IEDs, and these can actually still damage your Husky. So I think the chances of getting hit with or being destroyed by an IED while in an MRAP is 50%. In a Husky, it's something like 10 to 20%, but it's still possible. It can absolutely still happen. So we're going to be moving our MRAP ahead of the guys here. We are taking a bit of a risk, but I think it's worth it. Okay, and we're also going to grab... Yeah, that Husky can't move anymore. We do have this fuel truck. He's going to be used to basically refuel some of the vehicles we have. And with this vehicle, or in this case, this actual chopper, which vehicle is a vehicle, we're going to go ahead and drop the men off at the village. We really need to fix that water tower, though. That's my biggest cause for concern. And sure enough, look at that. We've got Taliban right there near our convoy. They're actually waiting to ambush us. I mean, it never ends, guys. It's always something. I want to go ahead and pick these troops up.
Affirmative. Copy solid.
Let's get the Buffalo here. I'm popping the Buffalo out, and I'm going to try to head back here to see if maybe we can fix something. I mean, that water tower brings fresh water to all the people in the village. Without it being fixed, they're not going to trust us. But we also have to do something about this son of a bitch, also known as the Taliban unit. And unfortunately, we can't do anything in terms of political points. We've got insufficient political points. So I'm going to drop some troops out. And yeah, we're going to get in a gunfight. And wow, so incredible. We actually captured some Taliban during that gunfight that let us know of another location of Taliban. Another cool thing is since we won that gunfight, we can actually go ahead and we can fix the water tower. I'm pretty sure anyway. Let's see. Hopefully next turn we'll be able to fix it. I think we will, though. That's pretty great. We can also bring in an airstrike to destroy that other Taliban unit. Well, that's a Helaze. There they are. So there we go. Let's go ahead. We're going to hit them. Boom! 825, guys. We're slowly but surely winning the fight. As you can see here in the center upper left corner, you can see the 52. That's the hearts and minds. If it's over 50, we're winning. If it's under 50, we're losing. Pretty straightforward. Where did you come up with copy solid? I've never heard that actually used. That's a good question, Lewd Dev. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, once again, I'm not the actual creator of the game myself. Just a member. Copy solid? I mean, solid copy I've certainly heard. Copy solid, I think it's just basically saying that they confirm the message. Message confirmed. They've received the orders, etc.
Copy that.
And copy that, of course, is just military speak for, you know, I understood your message. I take it to heart, or not necessarily take it to heart. I mean, sometimes if a commander gives you an order, you don't really want to do what he says, but you've got an obligation to. All right, let's go ahead. I think we can end the turn here. Got to be careful with this supply truck, though. I'm going to try to send him back home, but I'm willing to bet that this road is way too dangerous. Ooh, we got lucky. End turn.
Militia spotted.
More militia. They're going to attack again, and they're actually attacking the Husky there. Massive car bomb blast. Delivering aid to villages now provides less hearts and minds points. So these are the randomized news items that could occur throughout your campaign that could either be positive or negative. You know, the first one we had was about SEAL Team 6 killing Osama bin Laden. This one is about a massive car blast. Taliban have claimed responsibility for a massive car bomb that rocked Kabul's diplomatic quarter last week. So now when we deliver UN aid to villages, they're going to be like, yeah, thanks, that's kind of cool, but they're not going to be that impressed, and that is, of course, pretty scary. I'm going to go ahead and repair this structure.
Copy that. Copy solid.
Beautiful. Finally got the waterworks back up.
We're Oscar Mike.
And for Oscar Mike, I know what Oscar Mike stands for. Oscar Mike is on the move. You're just using a military alphabet to make sense. Oscar Mike. Let's see. I only know this stuff because my dad was a lieutenant in Vietnam, so I didn't have a chance to serve. I kind of wish I did, but he told me a lot of at least the radio messages. As for copy solid, I've heard solid copy. Copy solid? I think you could go either way, really. Of course, if a CO was listening to you, he'd probably be like, damn it, son, say it right. So these guys desperately need some supplies. We're going to go ahead and bring some supplies to our special forces. There we go. I mean, they need to stay out here for a while. They can't just head home. And I think maybe, just maybe, we can go ahead and actually get a Warthog strike, on that unit. Let's try, come on. Oh, I think we can do it, guys. A-10 Warthog.
A-10 inbound.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Another militia infantry destroyed. This time we destroyed militia infantry, not Taliban. Of course, the difference being the Taliban are much stronger than the militia infantry. They can actually take 2 hits, whereas the Taliban can only take 1. Let's go ahead and move forward here a little bit. We're going to take this MRAP, and we're going to go separately to this village.
Copy that. New intel
And sure enough, look at that, guys. We found another group of militia infantry. We are up to 53 in hearts and minds, which is really, really good. Nonetheless, that's unfortunate.
moving out.
And before, I promise you this, before the end of this stream, we will take a look at the Moab. Remember that the Moab costs $4 grand, so it's not cheap. Of course, if we need to, we'll just go ahead and take a look at, you know, another map and drop it there. Thank you, Dune Warrior. Oh, it's not a problem, not at all. I mean, it's really not that we're not part of the dev team. You know, the ones that do the streams, you know, specifically me, Kevin Buster, also known as Agrippa Maxenius. The way I do the streams is we're part of the marketing team at Slytherin, so you know we generally do the marketing stuff. That's our specialty. But of course, you know, our team works in conjunction, not us specifically, but one of our departments works in conjunction with them as well. Let's move. I actually want to bring some fuel to one of these guys, but let's actually pick up some troops here.
Roger.
Delta Company, it's time for you to earn your wings, earn your stripes, I should say. We're going to try to unload this guy right here. It looks like the water tower here is doing fine. I'd love to get another water tower up, but I think just to get there is going to take us like 3 or 4 turns, so it's kind of ridiculous. Let's go ahead and sweep for mines. Now, this is another interesting thing for you guys that are new to Afghanistan 11. Do you see how this village has an American flag above it? So we know that this village is very pro-American, which strikes me as odd. Generally, the villages that are more pro-American are the ones closest to your base. These guys, they must just really like America. I mean, they're in the middle of a mountain range. They're constantly being overrun by Taliban and militia forces. It's very hard to reach them. God bless them. They seem to be good people. They seem to really like us. Let's take a look, and with the Husky, we're going to have to wait a turn, of course. Confirm. Now we need fuel. And now, of course, we get to the voting, the election stage of the game. And I think you'll really like this Loot Warrior. This is a really cool addition to the game. You basically have to choose between 3 different candidates. Now, if you have some political points, you can actually invest in their campaign. So yes, you can cheat a little bit to have your guy win. Now, the 2 guys that look pretty good have American flags next to most of their reforms. So in the terms of Mamoun Moad, we could see that social reform is up 20%. In other words, the intel from villages we get is going to be up 20%. Security, the political points we receive on enemy kills up to 75. That's really, really good. And the cooldown period for intel is 1 turn. Jazur Jahed also looks pretty good. ANA handover penalty down 20%. And I'll explain this way. The game has a really fascinating feature, and this is why we need to train our Afghan National Army soldiers, where midway through your campaign, your men will rotate back home. And the only people left to guard Afghanistan are going to be the soldiers you've trained with your special forces. Any number of ways to train them. You can also train infantry by building a base. But if you don't do that, then obviously the people are going to have no defense. I think we're going to go ahead and take Mamoun Moad. I like both him and Jazur, but I think Mamoun Moad is going to be more useful to us. Now, corruption-wise, he is pro-Taliban. So generally, these guys are never 100% one thing, although I've certainly seen it. I've seen it before. I've seen candidates that have all Taliban or all U.S. It can happen for sure. We've got to worry about running out of fuel now, so we're probably going to have to bring a fuel truck here.
Village uncooperative.
Village is uncooperative. Search for some IEDs. I'm also going to take this fuel truck, and unfortunately, we can only refuel once. Oh, we might have to refuel one of the guys ahead of us.
Roger.
All right, not bad. So we refueled the MRAP. Start sending him back. The Husky's going to be stuck here. Not to mention he's already damaged from a hit.
Copy that.
Okay, let's drop into this area.
Copy solid.
So I'm going to dub this area the Badlands. I think this is where we're going to find most of the information, and sure enough, we did. We found an opium crop. So the way it works with opium, obviously being a very serious drug, used to make heroin, we can actually destroy this opium, and we'll actually get some political points because people around the world will be like, wow, this is amazing. You know, they're fighting the drug trade. This is great. The problem is, if there are any villages nearby, they're going to lose respect for us because the opium is where they get their profits. So it's a trade-off. Now, of course, destroying it is something we want to do, but before we do, we want to try and hit this Taliban unit.
Roger.
I don't think we can get them this turn, but they're definitely here defending this opium crop, so they might try to hit us first. I'm going to end the turn here. Oh yeah, they actually ran away, but a new group popped up out of nowhere. Look at that. So we're going to burn it down.
Opium crop destroyed.
1,075, man. Now the problem is, now that we chose to destroy the opium crop, we can't attack this turn. We can only choose one or the other, and so I think choosing destroying the opium crop was more helpful. Obviously now we can go ahead and move around a bit. Although look at this chopper. I didn't realize it was so badly out of fuel.
Copy that.
If a chopper completely runs out of fuel, you do crash. Although unlike Vietnam 65, which is the predecessor to this game, you crash and you don't explode. You have a chance to actually rescue your choppers. Of course, in this case, in the case of this map, there's no way we'd be able to rescue that chopper. It's ridiculously difficult. Oh, yes, absolutely, Mark. We'll show you the Moab for sure. And in fact, I was just about to go ahead and do that for you guys. We're going to save this particular campaign. So this is also the mission key. If you like this particular setup, you can go ahead and do the mission key. Let's take a look here. So I'm going to exit here to main menu. And we're going to get some Moabs dropped, baby. is actually my favorite battle in terms of the campaign. Now, obviously, in the skirmish mode, you could get hundreds of different battles, thousands, millions of different battles even. I mean, the seeds are constantly different. But in terms of the campaign mode, my favorite is the Battle of Panjwai. The Taliban have regained control of the Panjwai region. We need you and your troops to seize control of the region and win the hearts and minds of the local population. Expect a lot of opposition as you enter this region, and trust me, there is a lot of opposition here. So I'm going to try to find enemies before dropping the Moab. I think it would be a little uncool if we dropped the Moab with absolutely no enemies around. But we could do that as well. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and go to these villages.
New intel incoming.
Sure enough, look at that. We already spotted a Taliban technical, and I think this is a perfect chance to show this thing off because it's near some villages, so you're going to see the hearts and minds drop here. This is not something you should be using unless you really have to. Like, you should use the Moab extremely sparingly. We're going to drop one now. Oh boy. I'm sorry about this, guys. Sorry, villagers. Give them hell. Oh, yes! Oh my gosh. The truck is still fine. I think we probably should have dropped it a little more to the right, but you definitely saw that loss of respect amongst the villagers. They did not like that at all. And as you can see up here on our hearts and minds, 46. The people hate us. I mean, for all they know, we just dropped a nuclear bomb on them. Of course, they probably aren't aware that massive ordnance air burst is not actually a nuke. It's just a very, very big explosion. But the way, well, the biggest thing I can recommend about this bomb is to wait until you find a cluster of enemies, or wait until you have nothing else you can use. Another thing to consider about this bomb, and this isn't the best map to show it on, because one thing you have to understand about this game is in most maps, the enemy are going to be coming from the mountains or from the hills. And this is to simulate the enemy walking over the border from Pakistan, which is a lot of times what the Taliban and militias do, into Afghanistan. So one of the cool things about the Moab is if you detonate it, you know, somewhere in one of these mountains where you see a lot of Taliban coming from, it will actually stop them from moving through that area for quite a while. Dune Warrior says, I love to use the Apache when I run into multiple targets like the Badlands. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, villagers have no home now, exactly. Not, it doesn't put them in the best position. We can actually do another one, so let's confirm. We'll see the cooldown on the Moab. Let's take a look here. So as you see, the cooldown is 14 turns. This is definitely something you only want to use once, and likely, you know, most of these campaigns are 40 to 60 turns. It's probably, I think this one is 60. It's one you want to use very sparingly. I mean, you want to be careful when you use it. I mean, now we have very little money. We still have 5K, so we can still, you know, work around this, but it's definitely something we want to be careful with. I'm actually going to restart this mission. I want to try to get another shot with the Moab. I don't think you guys will mind. And let's see if we can't get another shot. We'll try not to drop it on the villagers this time. Sorry about that, villagers. All right, let's pick up some men.
Roger. Copy that. New intel received. IED detected.
Okay, so we found an IED, which is... It's always helpful to find those.
Searching for IEDs.
I'm not going to purchase any units.
Copy solid. Copy that. New intel received.
Already we know that there's an IED here. You know what? I will get a Husky just to destroy that thing. I love destroying IEDs.
IED detected.
Look at that. He actually detected an IED outside the base. Like, literally outside the base. 2, 3, 4, 5 IEDs. 5 IEDs. I mean, this place, this is why I love this mission. It is hell on earth. It really is. It's not a place you want to visit. Let's put it that way. All right, we're still waiting to see if we can find some enemies. So I'm actually going to go down here, and I'm going to use the reconnaissance plane. Maybe I could spot some enemies. And sure enough, there's another technical here. We are going to drop the IED on this sumbitch. Here we go. And I hope I actually get it right this time. I'm going to try to drop it right on him. Yeah, that's a perfect shot. That is weird. Try again. I think he's still going to be there. It is a little strange. Let's try to drop it a little north of him. And maybe this will work a little better. Alright, we're going to drop the IED to the west, I think. For some reason, we can't drop it near that particular enemy. Let's just drop the Moab in the middle of the desert. Why not? Here we go, baby. Oh! And once again, even at this distance, the villagers lose respect for us. I think it's any of the closest villages, but it could actually be all of the villages in the area. We're not 100% sure. Anyway, guys, we are tuning down the stream. And yes, Loot Dev, they do have a maintenance cost. They have a maintenance cost for remaining in the field, and they also have a maintenance cost for being resupplied back at base. So you definitely have to take that into account. That's a good point. If you keep your guys in the field in combat, you could run into a maintenance problem there. Dune Warrior says the Huskies are worth their weight in gold as they pay off and gain political points to buy more units. Totally true. Absolutely the case. I mean, the Husky is excellent at that. So guys, this is what we're going to do tonight at, tonight, that's right. Well, maybe not for you guys. For you guys, it might still be the afternoon. Over here, it's actually, it's nearly 6 p.m. European time, Central European time. So it's actually 5:40. I'm going to be doing another stream at 8, and this is going to be for Sengoku Jidai. It's going to be right here, so I hope you guys will stop by. And Sengoku Jidai is, of course, Shadow of the Shogun. It's about the Sengoku Jidai period of Japanese history, the wars of the between the daimyos, and quite a fun game. I'm not sure, Mark. It could be. I'm honestly not sure. Let me take a quick look for you. One thing that is for sale is our board games, and that's why we're going to be playing Sengoku Jidai tonight at 8 p.m. So I hope you guys will stop by. For you guys, it's probably not 8. And sadly, it's not on sale right now as far as I know. Let me take a look here. Could be wrong. Yes, actually it is. My apologies. 34% off. So down from 30 bucks to $19.79. Definitely worth picking up. I mean, that is a huge win. You know, definitely something to pick up. 1 hour, 20 minutes. So you're still in time. And absolutely, if you purchase the game because of me, then it makes me very, very happy. And it's always a good thing. So I hope to see you guys a little bit later, about 2 hours from now. 2 hours, 20 minutes from now, give or take. And we will be playing some Sengoku Jidai. So thank you so much, guys, for stopping by, checking out the awesome, awesome Moab Massive Ordnance Airburst, also known as the mother of all bombs. And what a beautiful weapon. And to me, the most incredible thing about the Moab is it's not one of these weapons that has to strike the ground to explode. It actually explodes several hundred feet above the ground. And that massive mushroom cloud you see, it's just amazing to know that that's actually not hitting. I mean, it does eventually hit the ground, but the initial blast comes before it hits the ground, which is just, to me, incredible and fascinating at the same time. Thank you so much for stopping by, guys. I hope you have a great day. I hope you'll pick up the game before it goes off sale, and I will see you a little bit later. Take care.